thank you everyone for jumping in. I'm sure you've got all your own scenarios of what your brain chooses to remember or not remember. Um, Again, working with, technology, what have you. And this is why I stress, like, electronic calendars as well, because it does help free up our mind and let us create a little bit less chaos in our minds when it comes to remembering things or appointments or when we should be following up with somebody. And if we're strictly going by memory, we're definitely going to feel a lot more busy and chaotic than we actually are.
Well, and I think helping with a more restful sleep at night,
Mhm.
because when things aren't written down and you forget to do certain things, that's when you remember is when you wake up in that middle of the night and then you can't go back to sleep because then it's on your mind.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
the more that we can get out on writing and rely on that. But what I found in my life is we really accept the life that we feel that we deserve.
Mhm.
And for me, and this has just really come up like really strongly in the last few months, I'm let me back up on my words. I've always been really good at procrastination. Like I have to do laundry or I have to get gas. And I don't get gas. I don't get gas. I don't get gas. I don't do laundry. I don't do laundry. And then you've created this chaos of I've got to do it now. Well, we're so subconsciously going through those motions and we get all jacked up and all ticked off and we blame everybody else for being on our way because we got to go get gas and we only have a few seconds to get there, get out and get to where we're going because we really don't have
Mhm.
time to get that gas right now. But how long did you put it off before you actually got there?
Mhm.
And just really recognizing that and feeling like I really felt that I deserved that chaos in my life.
Yeah.
And we subconsciously do things or don't do things and create our own problems. And then we
Yeah.
blame other people.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I look at our database as a prime example. I'm going to call leads today. I'm going to call leads today. I'm going to call leads today. I don't have any business. Real estate industry stocks. Like nobody's buying.
Yeah.
Right? But if we really step back and put on the old binoculars and look at our life from a helicopter view and look at what are we doing every minute of our day that is income potential, return on investment potential, steps moving forward, or are we staying in the same rut with the same habits?
Mhm.
Because if we don't change, nothing's going to change. So if you don't like the
Exactly.
results that you have right now today, rewind and look at your life for the last 3 months. Something has to change
Yeah.
because if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Yeah, exactly. I find too, you start to get really your motivation overall, the more that things pile on, it becomes such a larger problem when you're thinking about all those things, and you become, you kind of get or become more likely to or less likely to actually do anything because you just kind of keep going, oh, so much is so much. You just keep thinking about it and dwelling on it. And it's just really overwhelming. So I recently started to write my list because I think about it and I know all the things I have to do, especially work related, but I'm like, nope, I'm putting it on a list because then I get the satisfaction of checking it off.
And that's
And it's
empowering.
always there. And I'm staring at it every day, right? So, and there's different things that are different priorities, right? But at least if I'm staring at it, I'm not going to forget it because I have one on here that's not work related and it has to do with my truck. I've been thinking about that for a year. And every time I think about it, I forget, or it's at a time that I'm not in a position to be able to do it. And then, of course, when I buy a computer, whatever it is that I need to look up, you think I ever remember? No. So I'm like, was sitting here, I was driving home, and I remembered just about when I got home, I put on my list because I'm like, I need to do this. I need to look at it every day until I get it done. I still haven't done it. It's been on there since last week, but I started the process and then kind of veered away from it. But yeah, it's creating those
Have
lists are
you
a
read
huge
have
help.
you read Eat That Frog?
No,
Brian
no,
Tracy.
no.
It totally talks about how when we create lists and we check things off of our list, how
Mhm.
it really creates that hormone that brings us excitement and it gives us more energy to complete even more things on our task list. But eating that frog is taking care of that one task that's on there that you really don't want to do.
Mhm.
There's always something in your
There's
day
something
that is the
that is,
hardest thing that we don't do. But when we get that thing done, the energy that it gives us, because it's out of the way, we can speed through our day quicker, knocking off tasks because that's out of the way. Because when we have something in the back of our mind weighing on us, we tend to slow down that
mhm.
process of getting things done.
Yeah. Cynthia
It's a
says there's too
great,
much I don't want to do.
too much I
I'll,
don't
wr-
want to
I wrote it down. I wrote it
do.
down just as you said that because I'm not going to remember that. So, or get it on
Well, and
Audible.
what's
I just,
funny about things that you don't want to do, you want to do them. You just talk yourself out of doing them. And
absolutely.
calling leads is one of the biggest struggles that every single real estate agent comes up with and faces. And the only
Mhm.
difference between the person that's doing it and the person that's not doing it is the person that's doing it. They're still
Mhm.
feeling the exact same feelings of not wanting to do
Yes.
it, but they just
Mhm.
take that action. And
Mhm.
until we take that action over and over and over again, we can't really create it as being a habit until it becomes that habit
Oh, absolutely.
to where you're really
Absolutely.
thinking about
And I
it.
think, and I think even like this past year in real estate is a great kind of showcase of that because as many of you probably were calling leads and contacts and things, people, the market wasn't moving as quickly as we would want it to, or things just weren't happening the way that we would hope they would. We start to be a little discouraged with what we're doing. So those calls of picking up the phone and calling people becomes a little more daunting because we already know the outcome or anticipate, I should say, the outcome of all those calls. So we just don't want to do it because we're not getting any kind of gratification or it's just kind of depressing. No one's going to do it. You know, we get in that mindset. No one's moving. No one's, going to be buying or selling anything. And yeah, so for sure, it kind of goes into uh, keeping that momentum going. And those who were successful were the ones that didn't let them that stop them. If they weren't working in their business, they were sitting there working on their business full time to make sure that they were generating some level of revenue or getting some business, if not preparing for the future that's potentially ahead of them.
Cynthia, I love
Uh, yeah,
that. So I guess, are you able to come on and talk live, Cynthia?
I can give you the permission to speak if you do.
Uh,
Your face won't show. It'll just be your voice. There's no camera that turns on. Okay. All right. I know that when we have morning meetings at like 7 a.m. It's like the camera is not coming on.
Hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah,
Good.
it's
Cynthia,
just
tell me about the process of actually getting up the courage to go door knocking. Like, tell
oh
me
my
what that
God.
process is like.
Yeah, door knocking was a big breakthrough for me. Yeah, it was really hard. I worked with a buddy system. Like we're not together, but we're in each other's ear. And so one realtor is walking a different area and then I'm walking another. So it's kind of farming and going, you're supposed to go quarterly. And so I didn't want to go quarterly. I did like 2 times a year, but I've realized it's not enough. So I started going quarterly. So I did September, October, November, giving out calendars. And then now I'm on giving out pens. And then I got a listing. But yes, it's so overpriced. And so it's like you want to celebrate, but it's also like you don't because the odds of that selling are very slim to none.
And what is their, so let's talk about that, right? What is their motivation? Why did they go on the market?
Yeah, so he just had a baby. So I know that the motivation, he said, I'm not in a rush. If I don't get my price, I won't sell. But he does have a 6-month-old baby. They don't have room, and he's losing sleep. So I know that sleep might be a motivation, which I can, play into because that's, I'm sure we've all had times where you're not getting sleep and that's not fun.
So let's talk about his equity, what he's walking away with, and what's money
Oh,
for
he's
him.
got lots. He's one of the ones that is an original owner. So he's got over 300K. So he does have it there. He can he's about 50K overpriced right now.
And in relation to what he would be moving to, is there enough money there to drop his price, find what he needs, and stay within his budget?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I see it. And I've also played on, I've said, look, if you sell a little bit less than what you ideally want, you in turn are buying in the same market. So we should be able to negotiate that too, depending on the house. So you're still winning. I think right now, a lot of people are stuck thinking that, oh, 2027, the prices are going to go back to normal. And I personally don't see that. Whatever normal was.
So
Yeah.
you're door knocking, you're staying within the same neighborhood?
Yeah, so it's 800 homes and I'm starting to make some progression. I think I'm in the start of my third year on it, but I was not as consistent. Now I'm very consistent. Like they are seeing my face and they are recognizing me. So they're,
And have you dug into that neighborhood's statistics to
the
know
turns. Yeah, the turns are there.
now in the last 2, 3 years, is there any repeating agents that have any
No,
market share in there?
no.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was taught to like look for that. And
Yep.
yeah, no domination of an agent.
Yet,
Not
yet,
yet. Not
yet.
yet. So yeah,
That's your goal, right? That's your goal.
yeah, that's the
Yeah.
goal. But it's a long process. So, and I'm doing the calls. I do call. I have the agent locator leads going. I actually have them set up for the area in and around that I'm working. So again, I have had success with agent locator. Um, my problem is that I get too busy, and when I'm busy, I'm like, meh, burn it. Like I'll call it later. But I will say I did get a listing last year in October from Agent Locator. They want to move into the farm area that I'm farming, but I couldn't sell their condo townhome. It was just, I got it to market and it was crickets. So I still have a good relationship with them. They are waiting to move. It's just the market's not there.
Timing. Yep.
Not at all.
Yeah, well, that's your pipeline though, and as long as we maintain those relationships and
Yeah.
contact and updates, there's no reason why people shouldn't utilize your services. But so many of us agents, we just kind of drop the ball and forget it and move on because it's way more fun chasing the new.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just, not that you forget, but you get busy with the people who are urgent.
Yep.
And then, they start talking to somebody or you're not paying attention and that's how you lose them. But no, I feel like I have a great relationship with them. And like I said, anytime I've ever paid attention to the online leads, I always get something. Always. It's usually a listing or a buy. So yeah, I know this stuff is in there. It's just hard to call them, when they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm thinking. And it's like, how do you stay in touch with these people long term without pestering them, you know?
So the magic formula to that is putting it back on them and asking them how often they would like a check-in.
Okay.
Because we don't know what they expect from a professional to be
Mm.
able to make those decisions when it does come time to list the home. But all our job is we want them to remember us and us be top of mind whenever that decision comes because we never know in a given day what's going to happen today. They go, oh, I'm going to put my house on the market tomorrow. If they're in
So
that process. So I do like to end my conversations if I like the people, because there's some conversations I'm like, I don't even want to deal with them. But I do like to end my conversations with, you may be a long way out, and that's fine. I just want to know, how can I stay in touch with you so you remember me when that time is there?
I love that.
And they're
That's
gonna be like,
super.
I don't know. They're not going to know, right?
Yeah.
And say, well, it's important to me. I'm not like every other agent out there that's going to throw a postcard in the mail to you. I really want this to be a long-term relationship and I want to help you, but I don't want to bother you. How often can I check in? And honestly, this is what's so funny. They'll say, oh, you can check in with me next week. Like, you're like, wait, what? And
Yeah, that's
it's really interesting, right? And what's important to you? What
yeah.
information can I be giving you over this process that would be important to you? And especially if, and I love that you like know your market, because the
Yeah.
more narrow our focus, the broader our business can be, because you can really make a lot of headway with 800 homes, right? You could, like, that's realistic to really pay attention to and just massage the hell out of those 800 homes and just squeeze all of that juice out of the lemon. Because if we're trying to be all things to all people, we really can't. But I'm sure they have, do they have like community, I don't know, like outreaches or whatever? Like every community usually has that HOA, and then they have like their little parties or whatever.
Yeah, they don't really, we don't have HOAs here. They do, like, you have Facebook communities. And there's probably, it's interesting because in my networking, I've been layering on a lot of female networking in and around the community. And so what's interesting is I've actually met a few of them, ladies entrepreneurial, that are like just on the edges of my farm area, and one actually lived in it. And so they know a lot of people in the area that I'm actually door knocking. So like that's kind of interesting to get into that, because now I'm starting to make deeper relationships. So
And so many people right now, more than ever, are looking for community
mhm.
and they just don't know what to do. So, suggestion, because we have ChatGPT as our best friend now. So,
Yeah.
I loved the part of my business where I was really targeting one specific neighborhood, and I wanted like really heavy penetration.
Mhm.
So Christmas time, we did a Christmas light contest
Mhm.
that we chose like one specific day. We did a drive to send clothing, materials, whatever, food, snacks to the soldiers. Um,
Okay.
you can do flags on 4th of July and just, ha have a team of kids and go out and just plug flags into everyone's driveway and in the entire community. But you can literally every single month, there's something that you could attach
Mhm.
to a particular holiday or something in that particular month and just canvas that neighborhood and be known and pull that community together with contests and
Yeah,
just
like
with
community.
it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I could implement that probably around the holidays, like Halloween, or even, like
Mhm.
a yard, like spring garden contest or something. Yeah,
Well, Easter, I mean, everyone decorates for
Easter.
Easter now. I mean, people decorate for everything now.
Easter.
they do. And
Easter.
some of them, it's funny when
Yeah.
I'm walking and door knocking, like I do notice the ones that are like hardcore Christmas, like, or
Mhm.
Halloween, like you really start to see it. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you compliment them on it, they really love it because,
Yeah.
you're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
No,
then
I
like Easter, my mom's neighborhood, that's one of the realtors just got in there and she gets permits from the park and she does a big Easter extravaganza where there's Easter egg hunts and things like that for the kids in the community. And
I
of
love
course she gets all the other, the mortgage agents, any person that you're also
it.
collaborating with as professionals to that neighborhood are all contributing. They're all there helping and their families are helping. But she
Oh,
does
that's
this
cool.
every single year, probably for the past 10 years now. She does it close to
I love
maybe
that.
a little bit less than that, right? But everyone knows who she is because she makes sure she's known
Yeah, it's a good idea.
and
Thank
gives
you so
back.
much. I love that.
Well, and it's really getting creative too, right? As far as using other small businesses networks. And
Hmm.
it's been really fun watching my daughter expand her horizon. She has a boutique in the town that I had my real estate office in, and she just did a clothing swap drive. And she opened it up to where all of the clothes that were donated went to a women's shelter. and it pulled community together like I've never seen. It was just so beautiful. And one of the Pilates owners, she has a Pilates studio, she volunteered a whole case of champagne to be able to serve champagne at the swap. So her name was kind of put out there, right? But when you start working with communities, and just example for February, I mean, people are looking for community. You've got couples that are looking for something to do. Work with a
Mhm.
massage studio, work with a yoga studio, work with a gym, host an event.
Okay.
Because these places are looking for their names to be known as well. So when you
Hmm.
cross networking with other businesses and other people, you're really building that community. And I mean, even if you get two couples that come,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, your name's out there, and the people that don't go don't know that nobody didn't go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. No, I think that's it's really smart. So it's kind of a next level thing
Yeah.
that I know there's a lot of dog owners in this area, and I'm a huge dog. I have 4 rescue dogs. And so I'm actually planning to do like a Santa photo event. So that's going to come for the holidays. So that'll
Well, I
be,
mean, you could do, well, we're looking at working with one of our humane societies. We're going to do puppy yoga.
oh, I
Um,
love that.
and as I said, don't put all your focus on that holiday times. That's when everybody's doing
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Mix it up, and you and ChatGPT need to be like this, right? And
So
just
fun.
ask
Yeah.
it, say, hey, I've got these ideas. I want a theme every month. And then just
Okay.
see what it gives you. And it'll give you, say, I love dogs, I love animals. What can we do dog related, theme related? What can we do with a humane society, with an SPCA,
Mhm.
whatever you all have there? And, turn it into an adoption kind of event. And again, you're
Mhm.
networking businesses.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So I'll think about that. Maybe even for Easter, that's around the corner. So that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. Good. Well, I'm glad I picked your brain on it. But yeah, it's going good. Door knocking was a hard thing for me to get over. I'm not that type of person. But
What
it's
type of
pretty,
person is a door knocker, Cynthia?
I don't know. It's really daunting. Honestly, I walk around and I think I'm crazy sometimes. And I'm like, I literally have lost my mind. But it's so rewarding because you do get
Yes.
to meet people there. And, look, one thing I love, I've been listening to you for a while. And I know you always say, like, I want to just get out and save people from bad realtors. And I honestly always say that to myself too. And so it's like if I just, make relationships and I can help someone and save them from someone who's not going to serve them well, then it's like so great for me. I love that.
And I love
So
that because it's such a deeper meaning than just knocking on a
yeah,
door, put a sign. Yeah.
yeah, because you always like when I run into people and they're like, "Oh, I had such a bad experience." I'm like, "That sucks," and it sucks for our industry as a whole because we should be doing better for people, not taking advantage or putting them in a bad position. So.
Yeah.
So it's
I love
good.
Yeah.
that.
It
Yeah.
just
I
takes a
love
lot of
that.
courage, but
It
yeah,
does.
once you get through it, it's not bad.
Well, you know what? One thing that I have found just reinventing self. I mean, I've reinvented myself like way too many times in my life, but when you really look at, and you said it right, like that's not me, that's not the kind of person that I am, and that's why I asked that question, because we really do have to look at, okay, if I'm not door knocking today, but I know that's where I need to be. If I was, and take if out of the equation, when I am at the amount of listings that my goal is at, who am I at that point of my business? And what does that person do with their day?
Mm,
How confident and how different of a persona does the person that's arrived have that I don't have now? And we
right.
really have to become that future self. So the more that we can envision our future self and become that person, we're doing those things and manifesting that future self and becoming that future self without even really truly realizing it.
That's so interesting. I've never thought of it that way, but I can say one thing that I've noticed is that anytime I really focus on real estate prospecting, whether it be calls or door knocking, I may not get something from that specific activity that I'm doing that day or that moment, but later on, something else will happen. So it'll be like a listing will come from somewhere else, or like I always joke, I'm getting all this stuff in Durham, which is the opposite side of the city that I'm actively asking for business. And I'll go out door knocking and then I'll be like, oh, another one over in God, like an hour away. Great. So it's just so funny. I think it's just the law of like going out and working, and then the universe kind of like takes care of you.
Letting it unfold.
Yeah,
Well,
like putting in real estate hours.
That's a prime example of we cannot hold on to what the outcome looks like. We have to fall in love with that process because you never know what it's going to look like. You got to follow those steps, follow that process, and let it unfold. Because if we try to put our future in a box, we're literally closing off what the universe can unfold because our little pea brains, we only know what we've experienced. We don't know the potential of what can happen. And if we're so streamlined focused on it should be like this because this is what I'm doing, we're blocking anything else from happening because we're not open and sensitive to it. But yeah, you've got the ball in motion.
Or yeah, it's that really when you're constantly thinking about all those bad things are happening to me, so they just keep happening. Like this day can't get any worse. Well, we're just basically putting it out there that it's just going to keep getting worse because we're focusing on all of those, negative aspects. Or if we kind of put out there that we deserve these things and this is what I'm going for, and this is what I want, this is what I see, then naturally it's just kind of like that law of attraction just starts to pull it all in. And you see things differently.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've noticed.
Well, and there's something to be said, Crystal, whenever they say not to teach kids, don't spill your milk. Right? Because we're literally telling them you're going to spill your milk.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So it's literally being careful with what we think and correcting our thoughts and turning it into. And I love that whole future self philosophy because it's so true, right? Like the person that we are today doing what we're doing right now or doing what we've always been is not going to get us to where we need to be.
Yeah.
We really truly need to become that future person and walk in those footsteps like it's already happened.
Exactly.
I mean, I've never thought of it. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me share that. So yeah, it's all good.
Thank you for sharing.
Cynthia, one last question. When you're door knocking, are you leaving them with an easy way to access StreetMatch or the nosy neighbor?
Yeah, I log the StreetMatch. So it depends on the conversation I have. I will use StreetMatch. I don't use it as much as I should, I think. But
it's a great way if you're having a lot of conversations, even if you have like when you decide to get new business cards created, or even if you are dropping some sort of flyer of some sort, is get a QR code, make it easier. And just in conversations like, hey, if you ever wanted to know what's exactly happening with the listings and sale prices in the neighborhood, just sign up. It's quick, it's easy. You plug your address in, information, and it's going to send it to you automatically. All right, so there's no pressure in it, but then it's always on your card as well, or anything you're giving them.
Yeah.
And it makes it the QR codes are so easy for someone to actually utilize.
Well, and I think StreetMatch makes it easier for us too, right? Because sometimes you're not always paying attention, and then like something pops up 2 or 3 days ago, and then like they've already seen it, and then it's like, oh yeah. So absolutely. Thank you for that reminder and tip. I'm gonna incorporate that on my stuff because that's a good one.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, absolutely. Cool. Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. So I'm just going into some of these questions. I know that, Matthew said he goes on the MLS. So when he's like the market, we all have that, nothing's going for sale, nothing's selling. He goes on the MLS and he starts seeing everything that's going on the market. That's actually selling. So it kind of gets him out of that funk that nothing's happening because clearly stuff is happening, right? But you got to go get it.
That every day I would be like 1+, right?
Yeah.
Look at on the market today. And then I'd be like, oh my God, that agent got that listing. How?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know I existed.
Yeah,
And that's what Cynthia was saying
absolutely.
too, right? It's she's made her responsibility to be out there so that they know who
Mhm.
she is, that she is available when that time comes in the future. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely. There's
true.
another, and it's if you're seeing that, and this kind of goes back into calling your leads. I'm sure all, if not the majority of you, have come across a lead that's indicated that they have an agent. One great question to ask these people, aside from actually, verifying for sure, in fact, that they're like in contract essentially with said realtor, is asking what was it about this realtor that made you decide to go with them? So it's going to identify, for one, if this is like a family member, someone that like you have no shot of ever winning that business over. It's going to be very difficult to. But also, if it's also identifying what your competition is potentially doing out there to get this business. Right. So it's a great question that you guys can ask when you're having, don't jump off the phone as fast as you can when somebody says that. It's just keep that conversation going and learn a little bit more about this whole agent situation.
Well, it's a great way to catch them in a lie too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like, oh, well, I
Absolutely.
haven't really met with the agent. They just been sending me listings through the email.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
that's an open window. That is
Yeah.
an open, or
Yeah.
is it an open door or an open window? Both.
Open both, I guess. Depends how limber you are, I suppose.
Yeah, because I don't want to take business away from another agent,
No,
but
no.
have they
Uh,
asked you about your priorities and what exactly it is that you're looking for?
yeah. Yeah, and asking them like what's important. What is it that you're looking for? When you're looking to hire a realtor. I was listening to one of our agents' calls, just kind of going through and listening back at their calls, and she was asking. You can tell she's gone through your training, Nick's training, Dale's training. Like she's gone through all of the training. You can just tell this based on the calls that she's having. But she actually asked the question as well, like, what is it? Because she hasn't decided, or he, I can't remember, hadn't decided. They just knew that the realtor from before just didn't pan out the way they wanted. And so she asked the question, what is it that you're looking for in a realtor? So
Yeah,
I know how to best assist you, right? So that's a good question to
always
ask
put it back on
individuals as
them.
well. Mhm.
Yeah. All
Mhm.
right, the next one to go.
We got Gag and Pre. I came across a few things where I don't know what to do. I was able to connect with leads, but I definitely did something wrong. One of the leads already had a realtor. They are still seeing the properties, booking tours, etc., etc. I'm following up, sending emails, any resource which can help me get over this objections. I imagine. Please send me the link from the training. There is another party who is interested and agreed to the phone appointment, just got their email, and they have found the new condos themselves. Another lead. They don't have any agent, but I'm feeling like they're just scared of talking to a stranger. My goal isn't really to convert them. I'm very patient and try to know them more. I connect with people on call as well. Anything which can help me get over these objections. I could probably do better.
I
So that's a
think
lot.
my
There's a
biggest
few different things in there.
here,
Yeah.
yeah, I think my biggest question here is if you had to rate your level of confidence between a 1 and a 10, where do you fall in that confidence 1 to 10? Leads feel it. And when we don't take, I'm going to say command, that's the word. Confidence in your ability to do the best job in your market. Confident that you are the best absolute agent to get the job done. 100%, hands down, you know you're going to outshine and perform better than any agent in your market with 100% confidence, like I am it. And that's kind of what Cynthia and I were discussing, right? As far as when she goes out, like she's got to save people from all these other real estate agents. And the leads feel what we're saying and how we're projecting. And we also sometimes hold back in the ask because sometimes we're afraid to ask because we feel that that's going to be like, and that's why I became such a great question asker because I was so afraid to say, are you pre-approved? Do you have a lender? Do you have the money to buy a damn house? Right? Like I was afraid to ask that. Do you have an agent? Like I didn't want to hear
Oh,
yes, and I didn't want to hear no, because then I'm like,
talking.
what do I do?
Yeah.
Because now I've just scared them away.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
with that being said, I see your hands raised. Can you come
Mhm.
on and
Yeah,
chat
I
with
put
us?
her on already. I put her on.
Great.
Yeah, sure. I was
Yeah.
just waiting for you to finish. Uh, yeah, so when it comes to me talking to the leads, the confidence level, I would say I would rate myself close to 8. I
Okay.
don't really want to rate myself 10 because, when I just want to be like very careful when it comes to helping someone, right? But when I talk to so I started talking to the lead since Jan 12th, like just in the second week of January, and I was calling people every day, and I was able to connect with them as well. And like when people see a property like 3 times or so, sending them the emails, getting the replies back as well. The one thing that I'm finding difficult is when I talk to the leads, I can't really connect with them for a very long time. Like, let's say like I've been getting leads from the outer provinces as well, and I reported it to marketing. I think they're taking care of it right now. And so, like I'm kind of like overwhelmed at the point at this point where I'm just trying to see which way that works the best for them to at least get on the call, or just for me to talk to them. When you talk to them, you ask them, okay, what are you looking for? How many bedrooms, what bathroom? Even like with one of the leads, I was able to know the area that they were looking in. But yesterday at 11 o'clock, we were scheduled for a call, and then she just backed off. And now I got the email this morning that she don't need the assistance anymore. So now I'm drafting the reply back, just trying to know more that what's the reason behind it. So this is what this is the situation I'm in at this point. So
So with that particular lead,
yeah.
what was their reason for the move?
Which lead you're talking about? The
The
one
one
who
that you were just saying that said they don't need your assistance anymore.
Okay, so they were looking for the apartment in Carrisdale, and they looked at a property 3 times in Fairview. I sent them the reply. I was able to get the reply back, and when I asked them that if they want to schedule a tour for the listing, they said they want something in Carrisdale, and then I was asking them when are they able to connect with me, like when we can talk more about it. And she said she can call me on Tuesday, and then we schedule a time at 11 a.m. And now she's like, she and her partner, they found the new condos, which I'm not sure they're renting or buying. That I'm going to ask in the next email that if they'll be buying or renting. So this is what happened. I don't know if I answered your question or not, but this is what happened.
So the question that I asked was, why were they moving? So to me, I don't care what they want to see or when they want to see it. I want to
Okay.
know why. Because
Yes.
if that why isn't big enough,
Okay.
they're going to dip.
They're the first time home buyers. They're renting month to month. They are looking to buy a property as soon as they get the right match for themselves. That's what I know.
Okay. So in regards to their level of urgency,
Hmm.
what do you think their level of urgency is on a scale of 1 to 10?
6.
And before I look at the types of conversations that I'm having and why some people just dip out and ghost, I
Hmm.
really want to know the other piece of that, because if their urgency is only to 6,
Hmm.
you're not really a top priority because they're just out there kind of licky-loo right now.
Hmm.
It's just kind of like, oh, and I always take it back to something so simple as going on vacation, right?
Hmm.
It's, yeah, I'm going to go on vacation this year. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a fleeting thought. And
Hmm.
then you Google search cruises.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you get so overwhelmed, you're like, I'll forget this. And then life happens and you're off doing something else. And then you run into a friend that their parents a tour agent or whatever you call that thing. Um, and they call you. And you're like, yeah, it was just a fleeting thought. Like, I don't know, I want to go on vacation. But it's not really, I don't feel the need to reach out to you right now. Like, I don't want to waste your time talking to you because I really don't want to make a commitment right now. And it's not top of my mind.
Okay.
And that's the way kind of some people buy homes.
Mm-hmm.
So when they've got work happening, they got babies happening, they got partners' works happening, they got dogs, whatever it may be, it's not their 100% priority when life is happening and shifting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be careful with who we are spending our time with,
Okay.
because the people that are ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna keep their appointment because they're gonna want to see that house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering if their urgency is just not enough
Yeah.
to keep them on the hook.
Mm-hmm.
I
Um,
don't think it's anything that you're doing. I think it's their urgency and just
okay.
understanding where they are in the process.
Okay. Can I ask you another question now?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah. So, when it comes to talking to the leads, getting them over the call, sending them the messages, drip campaigns, everything that's there in the CRM, w- like I really want to know, like how this thing that I'm struggling with is I want to get to know the leads. I want to know like what they're looking, where are they in the process? That's the first thing to know,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I really want to get to the point, but I don't know when and how to do it. Like, let's say, first of all, like if I call 10 people, there's probably one person who picks up the call, one
Yep.
or two. But it's just you have to be consistent and you have to do it as more like whatever you can do, right, on your end. But when people get on the call, uh, I'm not really sure like how to know that they're looking right away or
Mhm.
they're looking something which is 6 months from now on. The first form that they fill when they register for the leads, I just go with that whatever they fill there 6 to 12 months or when the right property comes along, I just ask them the questions based on the form that they fill.
Gotcha.
So like like it's not even been a month since I've been doing this, but it's just like I just want to see like if I'm doing something or where I'm seeing that I am probably not doing something right. I just want to make it right. So anything that you have on your end when it comes to calling the leads or any advice that you'll give me, I'll just take it at this
I
point.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lead off with this to say that we are wonderful humans that
Mm-hmm.
love to make assumptions. And the
Yeah.
assumptions that we make are off of our own experience.
Mm-hmm.
So we assume
Mm-hmm.
they went online to look at a house they must be buying. That's just our assumption, right? Like, whoop, they're
Yes.
buy a house. Like they need to use me. Right. So if we kind of retract that
Mm-hmm.
and reframe that thought process of, wonder why they were looking online.
Mm-hmm.
Something happens in the course of someone's day, weeks, months
Mm-hmm.
that makes them curious enough to do a Google search. And you can just attribute this to anything in your life. Anytime you ever do a Google search, just think about it. Like, I've been thinking about this for a week and I just finally Google searched it. I just had the time, right? So start looking at your own habits
Mm-hmm.
and how long it takes you to pull the triggers on certain things. And it's going to help you learn about your leads that you're calling. So, second thing, whenever you're calling the leads,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of piggybacks off of what I was talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what kind of house, where, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, because to be quite honest, none of that matters.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is what is your current situation right now? So if you call 10 leads and only one person answered the phone, that's the person that was meant to answer the phone that day for you to make that connection. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important that we're leading that conversation with questions to keep them on the phone. Because if that person answered the phone, like our main goal is to keep them on the phone and answering questions. Because
Gotcha.
when you're asking the questions, you are the one that's leading the conversation
Yeah.
and allowing them to answer that question. So when I first make that connection with them, I quickly identify, hey, I see that you were online looking in homes in this location.
Mm-hmm.
What do you usually get? What do most people say?
Sorry, say that again.
When you're calling leads and
Mm-hmm.
they pick up the phone and you make that first identification,
Yeah.
and what do people like, what's the number one thing that you usually hear from people?
Um, so based on the phone calls that I have had so far, they would say something like, "Oh, we were just looking," and I'll be like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Then I'll try to just get to know them. Okay, are you currently renting? You know what their current situation is like, and that's the response that I've been getting.
So
Mm.
are you curious at all to know why they Googled to look?
Yes, yes, yes,
That's the
yes.
question.
Oh,
That's the question, right?
okay.
So
Yeah.
become curious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like an interview. Like
Okay.
I saw you online looking at homes and da da da. What made you Google search that? Like what? Because you know kind of where that lead came from, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What made you sit down and actually take the time to look up homes in this area?
Mm-hmm.
And that's getting to the root of the why.
Okay.
Oh, well, you know what? My mom was in town and I hate that she stays with me and she wants to move here and she ain't moving in with me. I want to try and find her a house,
Mm-hmm.
right? But mama may never move,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we have to find out why they actually came online in the first place. What made you
S-
look?
So when okay, I'll try to do what you said, and probably if I have questions, I'll ask you in the next session. But I have two more questions. When the lead looks at the property 3 times, we get the notification. What should be my reply to that? Should I uh, should I look send them the property description? Okay, this is this and this, and then I should send them another email that before, which is concerning more like to know them rather than just sending them the property that they looked at, or should I send just one of them? Like,
I like to I
mhm.
like to be at the right place at the right time on
Mhm.
purpose.
Okay,
So if you find someone's looked at a property multiple times,
yeah.
I like to just send it to him, say, hey, I was thinking about you. I saw this property on the market. I
Oh,
right? I
wow.
thought this might be a great fit for you. They don't have to know that you know.
Oh, well, you know what I've been doing? I've been sending them, oh, you viewed this property, you seem interested. Okay, okay,
Yeah, and they're
sure.
going, creeper, creeper, she's stalking me.
Yeah, okay, okay. I will. That's what I'm gonna do. So, thank you. I have like three more emails to draft today, so I'm glad we got on a call.
That's a big
So,
takeaway.
yeah, and okay, I have a next question. That would be my last question. So, let's say when the lead registers, and sometimes I'm just on my laptop. It happened like 3 times. I call the person, they blocked my number because I called within first 5 minutes.
Uh,
That
did they
happens.
answer?
Yes, they answered. They answered. I'm like, hey, you were online looking at some homes, and they're like, they just disconnect. They get scared of something, maybe probably stalking them or so.
And then so when you called again, did you call back and it went right to
Yes,
voicemail?
yes, yes, yes.
Sometimes you
So,
guys do have do not disturb. That's something that we like to remind people that the do not disturb is a thing. So
oh yeah, it's a big thing. It's
So you'll still say that I should call
call
within.
from a different number.
Okay, okay.
so here's my take, and this has
Mhm.
always been my take on internet leads. We have Zillow here in the States, right?
Yeah.
Zillow, those leads are very intentional. I want to go see a property. Like you've got to hit them. You've got to hit them quick.
Hmm.
Now, Google leads, Facebook leads, any other type of long-term lead, it's not truly a necessity to call them within those first 5 minutes. As
Hmm.
long as you're making those attempts
Hmm.
within that first week or two, because I want to know why are you looking? Because we don't know where they are in the process. When people get more aggressive with their home search, they're searching online more. So we never know if we have that person that's been looking for 2 years and now they just up their game and they're looking on everybody's websites, especially whenever we have a low inventory market. We
Hmm.
really get a lot of crossover leads where you have
Hmm.
one lead in 10 different databases in your market
Hmm.
because they don't believe the agents that there's no homes available, and they're just looking, looking, looking. They think they can do it better themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
they end up in all these different databases. But for the most part, most people are not Googling and coming into our databases through Google or Facebook because they're right now, I want to buy today leads.
Mm-hmm.
So I have always pushed the fact that it's not so much about speed to lead, it's the consistency of maintaining that connection to have a conversation with them. Because
Okay.
98% of your agents are the speed to the lead, and then they never call past that first time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're making those 8 to 12 attempts in those first 2 weeks, you're going to have a way higher chance of having a conversation with the lead than any other agent that they may follow in their database.
Okay.
So I would rather see consistency than speed.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Sit
So
down
I would
every
back
day
off
for,
on the first, I would back, I've never called Google leads within the first 5 minutes.
okay. So what I
I
did
just give you permission.
yeah, no, so what I did after those things, like this experience happened when I called them, and then, I feel like they blocked me. But what I did was I just like blocked of certain time slots in a day, like maybe 9:30 a.m. and then 5 p.m. in the evening, where I'll just make the calls. Been
Yes.
busy for a few days, but I think that works better. Like I try to track, the frequency of the calls that people pick during the weekdays is more when you block the time slot and then you make the calls rather than you call the lead right away. So
Absolutely. And
yeah.
that's where whenever we originally created the filters,
Hmm.
the very first filter, those leads that have just registered, those first 2 weeks are your most important to have a
Yeah.
conversation with these leads. So
Hmm.
yes, when you sit down and make those phone calls with those newer leads within those 2 weeks, one day
Hmm.
should be in the morning, one day should be afternoon, one day should be evening, one day should be weekend,
Hmm.
because everyone has habits. If they work a 9 to 5 job Monday through Friday, but we sit down every morning and we're calling at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're never going to answer the phone because we've hit them at bad times.
Yep.
Unless there's a snow day or unless the government's closed for snow or whatever, right? Like there's always reasons why people aren't working on a particular day. But yes, alternate the times that you're trying to get a hold of people, and to Crystal's point, use different phone numbers. We are
Sure.
literally back in the day where you have to use your home phone, or not your home phone, but your cell phone, and
Hmm.
manually dial,
Sure.
because the um, auto dial
Hmm.
does definitely show up for the most part as spam on most people's phones,
Okay.
because a lot of the phones are sensitive to the third party dialers.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
I block every number that comes in says likely spam, likely spam.
Hmm.
It's so easy. You just open up the phone call, it says block this caller, and then I swipe it and then I erase the number.
Hmm.
Every,
I try to get the area code for my Twilio account, the one that is the oldest, that has the higher chances that the people pick up the
but
call
it
with that.
doesn't matter if their service provider is posting it as spam on their phone, it
Okay,
doesn't matter.
then it's a problem. Okay.
Then it's a problem.
Okay. Thank
We're
you.
we're we're back in the days
Hmm.
of the dial.
Yeah, yeah.
Pushing those numbers with your finger. Unfortunately, that's how you're going to increase your conversations.
Hmm.
But definitely get more to the root of why they searched in the first place. And then you were doing the right thing, right? Do you own or do you rent? Like, I always love those hypothetical questions. Well, if I had a magic ball
Hmm.
and everything was perfect,
Hmm.
when would you like to make a move? And that's where you really get to the meat of what the reason would be if they were to make a move. Because as long as you say, like, well, hypothetically, if you were to make a move, you take that pressure immediately off of them, and give them permission to speak, because they know you're not expecting anything then at that point.
I think we have to
Okay.
also remember that every conversation, as much as we are scripted initially
Hmm.
and have scripted responses, they're all going to be different,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Yeah.
just relax and go with the conversation and be yourself. And naturally, kind of going kind of back on being understanding and okay with the fact that they are just browsing, people do open up a little bit more. They'll actually share with you the reason why. They'll just
Yeah.
offer it to you
Yeah.
in some cases, right? So we don't always have to ask that if we're able to just relax and have genuine conversations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for answering all my questions and
Of
concerns.
course.
Yeah, and it's not even been a full month. It's not about converting the leads, but I feel like if I set up the system really, really well and I work on wherever I feel like, okay, this is where I'm lacking and I need to work a little bit more. If I do that, keep on doing that, probably, this probably turns out to be really good for my business. But yeah, looking
100%.
yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Crystal, as
You're
well. I've
welcome.
been bothering you for from last few days. But
It's
yeah,
all good. It's all
yeah.
good. It's all for
Thank
the
you.
greater good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I do want to identify, I saw James asking about like script practice sessions. Here's my challenge to you, James, if you're still on here. And Crystal, you have them somewhere in your queue that they can access all of my questions. Do you?
Somewhere where? Yeah, there's
Somewhere,
some. It's everywhere. We've
there's
got
a
so many different
library there with
programs,
all
and
of my
we've got
questions that I ask.
so many different,
Here's my
so many
challenge
different
to you. Do your own
programs
practice.
going for these guys.
Do your own practice. Take those questions and start making your phone calls and practicing those questions. And what I love, if you're able to use your dialer, which I know I just said don't use a dialer, uh, and so it's what's your intention that day when you sit down and make phone calls? One day use a dialer, one day use your phone. If you use your phone, just activate your Google thing or your Zoom or whatever and record it. So you don't have to rely on the recorder to record your calls. You can put a recorder on and record yourself and then come back and listen to yourself. And that is going to be your best practice sessions is listening to yourself. And that's really what helped me become a great question asker because I would role play back and listen. I'd be like, why didn't I ask that question? Like that, like I'm totally missing something here.
Yep. Listening back at your calls, being well educated in your market.
Yes.
So if depending on what the lead is telling you, you're able to offer that guidance, with confidence, the calls are just going to come easier because we love to share knowledge, right? Especially, when we know exactly what we're talking about, the confidence just shines through. And again, write down if you get an objection and, you go with it on a call and you're like, man, I don't think I really did that great. Write the objection down and start working on what your responses could be to that specific objection, different variances of it.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Thank you,
Awesome.
Crystal.
Thanks, Bev. Thanks everyone who jumped in today
That
and
was great.
joined our webinar and was brave enough to voice their stories with us. But we will see you guys all again in March.
What? I can't believe it.
I know. Awesome. Thanks, Bev. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.